the soundtrack to your day. Okay.
It's the Office Journal on Smooth 98.1.
Okay, we are set to go. Everything looks good. This is me trying to come back to Zoom. Yes, fine. All right. Yes, it's Office Journal here on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. I am very excited. As always, every morning that I'm here with you is always an exciting one for me, especially when I get to share with you, not alone. I get to have professionals and experts and people who have depth and wealth of experience in the fields that we'll be talking to you on. I am so excited this morning. So again, for you who are still at home enjoying your holidays, it's fine. We're here doing the work for you and we'll bring the information and every education to your table, so that you can add it to your meal. So Merry Christmas to you. I know Christmas for some people was officially 2 days back, but it's fine. Compliments of the season to you. My name is Oluwaseun, and this is Office Journal here on Smooth 98.1 for the next 50 minutes, even though that we'll be having breaks in between, but we'll be talking about the future of work from now till 11:50. And like I mentioned earlier, I will not be doing this alone. To have quick heads up, you can quickly go to our YouTube channel. We're streaming live. You can see the face of my guest, but you might not know who he is until I tell you. Or maybe you have seen the flyer on our social media pages. You can get the heads up, or you're part of our WhatsApp family. You can already have an idea, a peek into who he is. But before then, just go to our YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/smooth 91 FM Lagos. Again, smooth 91 FM Lagos. That is the channel on YouTube. So back to it. The future of work. What does that even mean to you? What do you think about? Don't worry, in a bit, we're going to get to that. But I should let you know that my guest is someone who's very experienced in human resources experience across many sectors, including the oil and gas manufacturing, that's the FMCG, and also services industry. He has lots of experience in setting up new organizations, business startups in African countries, not just Nigeria. He has also experience in change management, mergers and acquisition, and new organization setup, and has worked across several countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Again, he's experienced in leadership over conglomerates with more than 3,000 employees. He has, again, up-to-date knowledge on current labor legislation and requirements within African continent and beyond. And that's why if we're going to talk about the future of work, well, this is someone who has been in the field for a long time and sees the projection. So he was until recently the Chief Operations Officer at CIG Group, where he oversees strategy and business intelligence, human resources, corporate services, and distribution. But right now, my guest is the founder, Diversity Talent Management Limited. So ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy with chicken, turkey, whatever it is, please put your hands together for Mr. Victor Adebayo. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. And perhaps you're listening in any other part of the world. Good morning all over. It's a great pleasure being here and being able to share with the people today. And Merry Christmas and compliments of the season to our people.
Yes, that's true. Thank you so much for wishing us. And if you're listening, if you want to listen just via the audio, you can go to our website, which is www.smooth981.fm. That allows you to listen to us anywhere in the world. You're just streaming. But if you're within Lagos, you can tune your dial to 98.1. So now that you have a sneak peek, an idea of who my guest is and what we will be talking about, let's get right to it. Earlier, I said that what comes to your mind when you hear the future of work? I mean, it can be pretty easy from the layman perspective. You just think about what the work will look like, or what the workforce or what the work trends will look like in the future. But let us hear from the experts. So, Mr. Victor, What should a person think about when it concerns the future of work? What are those things that are embedded in work, the future, the evolution, and the future work trends? What do you think it will look like?
Thank you very much. I think many times when people hear the word the future of work, they think it's all about empowering employees against employers. People often think it's about giving employees more options vis-a-vis their employers. But actually, the future of work is impacting both employees and the employer space. And what we're talking about is, what would it look like in the future? And so let me take our minds back to how strategic projections are being done in the past and the trend we are seeing today, which is obviously going to be impacting the future of work. Before now, we do data analysis, looking at trends from the past, and then we use those things to be able to predict what the future is going to look like. But nowadays, the future is not a function of borrowing from the past. It's a function of novel ideas. It's a function of people's personal desires, aspirations that they think they can do. And then, let me borrow the word, reverse engineer that back to the present. And then they say, if I want to do this, then let me start doing these other things from now so that I can get there. So jettisoning what the past may have been. So the future of work is, what kind of skills, what kind of people would employers be looking forward to? And how would these people work with them? Then, what kind of people would employees also want to work with in the future? And what will be the terms and conditions of their working with all of these people? That is what the future of work is going to be. What work will be, what kind of work will be available, and then what kind of skill set will be necessary to be able to do that work. And that's the whole topic around the future of work.
Thank you very much for that very good foundation. And now that we have gotten an idea, let's start with Nigeria, because I like to start on the home front. We, for instance, earlier in the week, I believe, no, that was last week. So last week, I came across a news article and a video specifically that was done on a certain branch of McDonald's in Texas, the United States, where it was fully automated. There were no humans inside. It was a drive-through / takeaway. So what you just had to do is just punch in the buttons, or maybe it was voice automated, I don't know. But there were no humans inside. You were going to get your order, everything, no humans. And people, of course, went gaga. Oh, the robots are coming. Automation is going to replace things. But yeah, let's come back to Nigeria. I know how it was when people were so mad 3 weeks back or 2 weeks back when the CBN released that directive that we're going cashless, more or less, you know, and people started talking about how Nigeria is not even advanced enough to cope with this thing that you are bringing on. If you're going to bring on this thing, well, you can as well just prepare for it. So if we are talking about those kind of things out there, how is Nigeria looking in terms of that future of work? What is the future of work in Nigeria?
I think there are 2 or 3 broad categories or 3 categories I can put Nigerians into with respect to the future of work. There are those who are excited about it and preparing themselves, anticipating and living in the future of work. There are those who are living in denial about the future of work. They just want life to continue to remain the way it has always been. And then there's the third category who are just sitting on the fence. Let's just wait, watch, and see. But I'll borrow the words of Charles Darwin. He says, it's not the strongest of species that survive. Neither is it the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change. Ladies and gentlemen, change is coming into Nigeria. I don't want to mention the names of any companies. One of the tech companies in Nigeria and one of those pioneers have created a fully automated service desk ATM system such that if you enter into the bank, rather than talk to those officials who are at the counterpoint where you pay in and then they accept all of your cash, everything is completely automated, no humans. And I'm sure when ATM was released in Nigeria, it was all about slotting your card and collect money. Now we know the ATM machines can actually collect your cash now. You can make your savings via your ATM machine, and you don't have to get into the banking hall to do that. And that's already telling you Nigeria is gradually picking up on the future of work. Now, came COVID-19. COVID-19 brought about a fast track for the future of work. Every organization that had hitherto lived in denial. I used to work with one of the telecoms communications at the point in time, and our group CEO said something as recent as 2017 that, look, work from home, he doesn't see it happening in the next 10 years. Lo and behold, I mean, I'm trying very hard not to mention names. My telco organization worked from home for my entire 13-month stay in that organization. In fact, there are some of my 22-man member team that I have not met them till today face-to-face. We all related virtually. Nothing was done via physical contact. And it's not only McDonald's in the US, even one of the Apple store, and then some of all of these, Amazon store also operate that way. Nobody. I was even told of a story where during one of the crises in the US, people boggled the Apple store and they all went in there, picked all the stuff, running out. Unknown to them, these devices were there, scanning them, linking it up to their social security number, and the debits were hitting their accounts. And you know, it's a direct debit. So you can pick up anything, it just debits you automatically. All of that is also gradually coming here. And this technology is expanding fast. Now, this is what the future of work would mean. And so for Nigeria too, I foresee government services also becoming a lot more technologically savvy, whereby people would no longer have to be physically present in government offices to process things like international passport, driver's license, and the rest of those things. And the bureaucracy and corruption that is enmeshed in all of those processes would automatically be thrown out. So Nigeria, you better join the progressives. It's happening. It's going to happen anytime soon, definitely.
That will be so much joy that I wouldn't have to be on long queues for my passport renewal. Oh, wow, that would be so much peaceful. But we'll take a break now. And when we come back, I'd like to get further into that on the future of work. And when you think those things are going to catch up, do you have any estimate, projection? We will come back to that. If you're trying to join this conversation, it is interesting you, well, you can be a part of it. Go to WhatsApp, our YouTube channel, and I will be back to tell you all of that. This is Office Journal here on Smooth 98.1.
Smooth 98.1. Don't go anywhere.
I mean, something like that would be so good for us in Nigeria, where we don't have to bless the table all the time that we go to renew passport, licenses. It doesn't make sense, a lot of things that we have to go through. But then again, I think it's because of the corruption.
Yeah, I mean, people just want to benefit from chaos. And that's the truth. People benefit from chaos. And it's not government. I think it's we as a people. We don't want those systems to work. We deliberately sabotage whatever initiative the government was putting in place, just because we know that those things will no longer give us the avenue to be able to, still. I was having a conversation with one of the HR groups I belong to, and I spoke to them about this whole change of the Naira denomination, or the Naira format, or painting as it's being called now. I told them it's targeted at two things. Number one, reducing the volume of cash that we currently have in circulation, and then ensuring that all the illegally gotten funds were actually taken out of circulation. So people will be forced to bring back their Naira notes. And we can see all of those things on social media now, that people are bringing those things out. And then I told them that the next thing that would happen is that the amount of cash you can access as an individual or a company is going to be reduced.
Regular, 10,000.
Monday morning, CBN announced the change, and I became a prophet. It is what it is.
Wow.
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Engineering Limited, Trace, Sahara Group, Leadway, Guest House Company Limited, African Magic,
Okay,
and
let
Smooth
me-
FM.
Finish downloading this show like this, I will go straight to Tayo's house to with jollof. Then enjoy this movie on YouTube. It's just that Tayo will now start disturbing me to turn on my Wi-Fi for him when he can easily enjoy data bonus with MTN for me. With MTN for me, you will get 100% data bonus and discounted data bundles just like that. What are you waiting for? Dial *121# to get started with MTN for me.
Okay, we're coming back in.
CNN. And this is Smooth 98.1. 98.1.
As you heard Richard Quest say, this is Smooth 98.1, and you're very welcome to join this conversation because it pertains and it concerns you living in Nigeria, you that wants to leave Nigeria, you that you're outside Nigeria, whatever it is, whatever category you find yourself in, you are very much involved. So please join it. This is Office Journal. We are talking about the future of work. You can join us on YouTube, by the way. It is youtube.com/smooth91 FM Lagos. Again, youtube.com/smooth91 FM Lagos. That allows you not only to watch, to share with your friends and family, to save it so that you can go back to the video, and most importantly, for you to drop your comment in the chat box. So you see how advantageous that is. You can also decide to come to WhatsApp like Cruz. The WhatsApp line is 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. And later on, we will take your calls and questions if you have any. The call line will be or is 01448-9981. Again, 01448-9981. My guest is Victor Adebayo, and he is the founder, Diversity Talent Management Limited. So back to it. Before that break, we were talking about that future and that dreamy future of Nigeria where everything is automated and we don't have to be on long queues. We don't have to bless the table. We don't have to rub and massage somebody's ego for us to get our tax or card or our renewal and all of that going. But how soon do you think that will be in Nigeria? Can you hear me?
I'm looking at the next 5 years will be very... Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Hello, can you? Okay, beautiful. I'm saying that will be as soon as the next 5 years in Nigeria. I'm looking at tremendous change with respect to, the penetration of the internet across every fabric of Nigeria. And I'm looking at all of that change happening, within the next 5 years. We've actually seen Elon Musk, his Starlink, getting approval from the Nigerian government, and the focus is to ensure there is internet penetration into the rural communities. I can remember sharing during the executive council meeting of the telco organization I worked in that what does this portend to us as a business? Because this guy has the money, he has the muscle, and he can more or less muzzle us in. So do we look to compete or do we look at partnering? Because you can't win all of your competitors. You can obviously find a way to be able to partner with your competitor. It's one of the strategies for survival. And so with this penetration, we will see many of these things happen. So there's a private sector which is pushing to get into the government space, whereby they want to automate all of the services of government and then bring in ease. And then, of course, increase and enhance revenue to government. As government continues to push, looking away from oil revenue, all the other sources of revenue will become interesting to them. And if they don't have to also bring in the cash to put in the investment there, the private sector guys may want to partner with them and get all of these things to come on board. And that's why it's become very, very important for us to pay close attention to what is going to happen within the next 5 years. So there's going to be a lot of private sector push into government area. And that will mean in the next 5 years, we're going to see a phenomenal change in the rate at which transactions happen. And if you look at this beyond what it portends to us as a people, it also goes further to tell us the kind of skill set that will be required. Now, you have government officers, or perhaps people who work in the unorganized private sector and even in the organized private sector, used to performing work in a particular kind of way. And then many of them thinking, okay, automation is coming, machines are coming, these things will take over our jobs. No, these things will take over certain aspects of the work requirement, and they would create newer aspects of work requirement. So while I can depend on my payroll officer to work on Excel to get all the payroll tax done, there are 101 companies in Nigeria today who sell all kinds of automation tools to be able to get my payroll done. All I would only require is just an officer to run the system, and then an officer who probably can troubleshoot, who probably can speak with the engineers on the back end. And so there's a different skill set that will be required. No longer Excel dependency, but someone that has some coding or can also speak or some design knowledge. Those will be the changes that will happen. So whether it is on government end or on our end, we would not have to blame the CBN for coloring the Naira. Somebody will come up with a more creative design that will be more appealing to the populace. And I hope the CBN does not come for me for that. So those are the changes that would obviously happen in the world of work.
Well, it's certain that some Nigerians are coming, and that includes Cruz, who says on WhatsApp that, can we also use this concept to police government as regards accountability and transparency? After all, they are all our employees. Well, there is our part. But going further, I feel we cannot talk about the future of work without talking about our educational system. Now, if we are going to say that there are some skill sets we should be building and some skills we should be acquiring to be relevant in the future, where is the place of our current educational system and the things we're learning? How does it fit into the future that we are looking forward to?
I'm not going to join the bandwagon of Nigerians who will continue to beat a dead horse of what our educational system is all about. While as an undergraduate, I learned Fortran 77, literally telling you that programming language was designed for 1977. This is 2023, technically. What I'm going to focus on is there are tools and resources available for any forward-thinking person to be able to acquire the much needed expertise and the skill to become relevant in that future of work. I'm not going to blame the university systems. I'm not going to blame our education ministry. I'm not going to blame government. All of those facts are known and everybody can speak to that. You can pick any man from the street. He's going to tell you how our educational system is not relevant for the future of work. But what I'm going to say is, if you as an individual want to be relevant in the future of work, we've got tons of educational videos on YouTube. We've got tons of educational videos on LinkedIn. We've got tons of learning resources on various websites. And we have open universities across the world where all of these skill sets are taught for free. We even have the Global Free University, whereby you can acquire any skill. Everything piggybacks off internet penetration. So rather than spend the bulk of my time on any of the social media handles, spreading fake news or false news, or just throwing banters with my friends, if I'm really serious about the future of work and I want to be relevant in that future of work, I want to then consciously pay attention to my own education. There's a whole lot that happens on TED Talks. So now that is on that side of individual responsibility. So let me now speak a little to the popular things that people will be expecting, how our government is not doing what it should do. So how do we then begin to change the narrative? When I worked for Procter & Gamble, pardon me, I've mentioned the name, back in the day, we had a program we called STAR program. And STAR program was the organization partnering with select universities, whereby we can become a member of their faculty. And then we pick various topics and we teach them from a business point of view so that those guys or the students would understand the connect between what they learn in the university with what is happening in the real world. So we had topics like business management, brand management. We had topics such as safety, health, and environment from our own point of view, which we taught to engineering students, and the rest of such programs. I think we need to go back to the way education runs in some parts of the West, where there's a golden handshake between the industries and the universities and the institutions of learning. So these companies fund education research, which the industries then commercialize, and then the cycle continues endlessly. And that's the way we can bring about the relevance of the students who are learning in such institution to the real world of work, because right from their undergraduate days, they are already exposed to their potential employers or business partners and associates in the future. So that's the only way I think it can go. It's not going to be releasing 1 trillion to ASU or releasing any of these things to any of those things. There must be that private partnership for us to be able to get going, because that's how it works everywhere else. And we can easily copy that template too and make it work for us. Thank you.
Borrowing the language of the Twitter users, I think that is what we call stray bullets. What you mentioned about, it's not necessarily about releasing more funds to some organizations, but really it's about beefing up the content. We'll go on another break, and when we come back, I would like to take your suggestions. Let's say you have the ears of the government and every other policymaker, everyone who can make a policy at the snap of their finger, and things will change. And also the listeners, the students, and maybe parents who are looking at creating a better future for their children. What courses do you think they should be having in view now? If anybody wants to gather information or knowledge to be relevant in the future, what courses do you think they should be looking at studying or incorporating into their study schedule? So we'll come back to that. In the meantime, you can keep your messages coming. I see them on WhatsApp. That is fine. When it's time, I will probably take them for the ones that you want me to take. So the WhatsApp line is 0809-444-0981.
98.1.
So you like funk, you like jazz, you like world music, you like R&B, you're welcome to the home of the great music, Smooth 98.1.
Why you see rain for this heavy sun?
No be that kind of rain. This one now data rain with my MTN NG app. Now won't get data for everybody go download the app. You know me now. You can also get up to 2 gig free data when you recharge from 500 naira and above with your debit card or my MTN NG app.
Up to 2 gig data when I recharge with my debit card.
Looks like the time is hopping faster than I thought.
No be there.
So altogether, we have about
extra on top
16 more minutes or 17.
MTN NG app.
The time, to think that we actually started when we were supposed to. The time is really moving too fast.
On top your recharge.
Time flies. Time flies.
Yes,
my second daughter loves hairstyles. She loves hairdos. In fact, I promised that from 2023, she was going to be the one making the hair for her sisters. And she's always reminding me, and she learned all of this on YouTube. She's just 18 years old.
I need to sabi how to take rearrange every to
no, my wife was like, that was she's gonna
all the industries them towards growth and expansion. They tested and trusted. Nobody need to show at
all her life. I said, what if for hairstylists, whereby different hairstylists can come on board. Not only do you get clients, you learn new ways of perfecting your craft, and then apart from you paying a percentage of what the client pays to the parent company, you also have different other ways in which you can monetize whatever product. So all the various what do they call them? Companies in that industry can also advertise their product on that platform. She was like, you, all your head is just business. I'm like, that's the world, that's the future. That's the future.
Oh, yeah. Thinkers rule the world. In the words of, I believe, what's his name now? Rich Dad Poor Dad. His name Robert Kiyosaki. He said the rich He said the rich see opportunities with your mind, while the poor see it with your eyes. Okay, we're coming back. Trust me, what feels good right now is the behind the scene conversation, which you can join us. Go to youtube.com/smooth981 FM Lagos, and you will get the VIP access to the behind the scene, which is actually ideas, if you know what I mean. It's probably going to give you ideas and for you to seize the opportunities you have all around. If there is anything we need to understand about the future of work, or maybe the future of business, it is that it's for those who can think deeply and quickly grab opportunities around them and engage their minds. So you can say the future is for thinkers, really. And my guest this morning is Mr. Victor Adebayo, who is the founder of Talent Diversity Management Limited. And you can also, like I mentioned, join us on YouTube, on WhatsApp. It is 0809-444-0981. So before that break, I think what I was essentially saying is that for Nigerian parents who are so big on go and study medicine, go and study engineering, go and study law, go and study accountancy, what should they know at times like this? That everything is evolving. What are the courses that people should look at if they want to be relevant, and not just relevant in the future, but thrive?
So let me shake the table here a little. And in doing that, I'm going to go to the thinking of the average Nigerian parent. You see, behind that, study medicine, accounting, law, or whatever it may be, they are simply looking for the shortest cut out of poverty, for their words, because they believe with those professions, you would always get a job. And for as long as you have a job, you will be able to fend for yourself. But for the other courses, they believe it might be more difficult for you to get a job. So it's not so much as to they are not interested in your passion. They're actually worried about your being able to survive on your own. So I would say to them, your fear is genuine. However, I'm sure some of you are regretting why you did not allow us play football back in the day. And I wish I could look at my mom right now and say, I was a good defender, you know, and they beat football out of me. Today, I would have been competing with Messi and Ronaldo. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you what happened. And you know the social media influencers today. It's not about the courses they studied in the university. And so if you ask me, what course should people study today? I would say, find a way to commercialize your passion. Don't just follow your passion. How do I commercialize it? So like I was sharing with you while on break that, look, my second daughter, she's just 8 years old. She learned how to braid, how to plait hair on YouTube. And she got so good at it, I had to tell her, look, in 2023, you'll be responsible for your sisters. I had actually promised her 2022 in fairness. And then in January 2022, she reminded me. I'm like, no, let's give it one more year. But I'm sure 2023, she's not going to have any of it. And so 2023, I intend to have her started off. Not all her life. And I said, look, let me tell you something. She becomes so good at it. She sets up an app, which I can call an Uber for hairstylists, whereby you are able to vet people on how good they are. They also get ranked on their performance, just like your Uber app will rank all of its drivers. And then all the companies that also operate within that space, whether they make braids, whether they make creams, cosmetic, whatever, they get a platform where they can advertise to both the people who make hair and to the customers, and then various other opportunities come up on that singular platform. And it all starts from a passion. Now, this little girl started coding since 6 years old. She's very particular about designing, which is the user interface part of getting things done. And 2023, she's definitely going to be moving into robotics. Now, blending these two competencies together, what do you think is going to happen? Not only would it change the way we all make our hair, you can rank virtually anybody and you can be selective on the people you want to make your hair, whether you go to their shops or you want home service. That will revolutionize that space. My wife is a medical doctor and she used to tell me we don't clock our patients in absentia. Then came COVID. And guess what? All the doctors started talking to us remotely. Who won that?
Telemedicine.
It became telemedicine. So that is also telling you that in the future, because I saw a video where 6G technology was being tested in China and the surgery was being performed remotely. 6G, we're already talking 5G now, they're already in 6G. And so the doctor wore a couple of, clubs into his hands. And then he was looking at the patient. There was a dummy figure in front of him. There was a robot with the patient on the other end. And as he was cutting the dummy, the robot was cutting the patient open, performed a surgery without the doctor being there. It was just a robot that did all of that, and they cleaned it all up. That is telling you about the power of technology, the internet, with whatever course of study. I mean, think about all of our big musicians today. I mean, we may be saying, oh, they are bigger than the Sunny Ades, the, Juju Maestros. No, they are only living in a time where technology has been able to aid their trade. And that's what's made the difference for them. And that's why they are making tons of money. So there's going to be a marriage between technology and whatever profession. So whatever your passion is, I will still follow it. But then find a way to commercialize it, leveraging the power of technology and the internet that is changing the world all over. People are setting up internet radios in their homes today. People are doing a whole lot of things. So it's no longer going to be like before. I was sharing some things in the course of teaching diversity, and I said Yoruba language does not have a word for every item. But what they then do is describe it. We are speaking on radio right now. What is the Yoruba word for the word radio? I doubt if you know, Shebu.
Asoromagbesi.
Oh, beautiful. Ero asoromagbesi, meaning the device where you speak without getting feedback.
Not
Today,
anymore.
Are you getting feedback? You are getting feedback. The definition of radio in Yoruba language would have to change, because now people can call in, people can join you on social media, people can do whatever they want to do. So if somebody wants to become a broadcaster, he should still go ahead and do that, but then see the marriage of technology. And now we have auto-tune, so you don't have to have the best voice to be able to speak eloquently. You can always fine-tune all of those things, and they become enhancers. So all those things we may call skill sets now may no longer become skill set. They may become things that technology will do, and then we then take the job of how do we program those technology, and that will be the differentiator going forward. So parents, let them study anything, add technology knowledge to their knowledge base, and then relax and sit back. You can earn your pension when you retire. We should not be your pension, but trust me, we would also take very good care of you, in the future, should you ever need to move between New York and London, because by then we would have jets that can fly in 1 hour, and we will put you on those rides. Trust us, we got your back.
Sorry, parents, that's another stray bullet, but it's for you to move. Do not make your children your retirement plan. I just cannot stop making mention of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because he talks about a mentality of the poor where they make their children, their assets, in which they start to invest in them, in quotes. Originally, they might start as their liabilities, but then they are probably short-term liabilities so that they can turn them into assets, in the sense that they become their retirement plan. And because of that, they invest their life, everything into them, such that when you now get old, they guilt trip you into taking care of them. So, and as much as we know that you care about your children, but allow them to also know themselves, but let them follow their passion, monetizing it. Because I have a friend of mine who will say, if you do not commercialize your passion, it will turn into passion. So you,
That's a nice one.
You have to be careful that you are not going in the wrong way. So you need to be guided. Look at me. I studied nutrition and dietetics. I'm on radio. Yeah.
Whoa.
My certificate carries nutrition and dietetics from the University of from Obafemi Awolowo University. So, and I'm here on radio. So you can just follow your passion and do the right thing. This is about where we'll take another break. And when we come back, unfortunately, we have to wrap up. Why does time fly so fast? Okay, so you can join us on YouTube, by the way. It is youtube.com/smooth 92 FM Lagos.
World-class station.
That makes two of us.
Hey, what's up?
I studied zoology too in OAU.
No way! That department is one of the, sometimes because we had to go to zoology department to take courses in year one.
It was a nightmare.
Dissecting frogs.
I did it so well. My frog woke up and was still alive. I didn't kill it. I separated that main artery, which you guys are looking for. I was able to separate it very well. I only then had to kill the frog later on because I could not imagine life for it. My boss was like, you make a good surgeon. I'm like, not in this world. I'm not interested. I want to do something else with my life.
Oh my days. This is so good. No, I hated that thing. I don't even remember how I did the dissection, but I knew the nightmare was having to hold it and dip it inside the chloroform. I almost had to pay someone to do it for me. Yeah, this thing.
I held the frog. I didn't even wait for chloroform. There's a way you hit the head against the table, it passes out, and then you then dip it in the chloroform just to ensure it sleeps longer, and then you start your whole process. I was able to do that.
Zoology department, interesting. Ooh, that was the BOC and all of them area too.
BOC, BOA, Arawamo, Akipelu, and Co.
Okay, we're coming back.
Okay then.
I think you should join us on YouTube because we're having too much fun, and it's been so enlightening, so good that you will pick one or two, more than two lessons actually. We're talking about the future of work, and if you have been following, you will have been able to take some lots of nuggets from it. My guest is Mr. Victor Adebayo, and he's a founder of Diversity Talent Management Limited. I hope I got that order right?
Sure.
Thank you. Cruz on WhatsApp says, if you're not on YouTube, what are you using your holiday for? Oh yeah, it's so good, and it's just so, it speaks to what we need to do, how much of a mindset revolution, I'll call it that we need as individuals and also as parents, because we're going to be raising children for the future. They need to be relevant. The children cannot decide a lot of things for their lives. You provide the environment that will grow them up. So, and many of the things that are responsible for how we turn out today is because of our upbringing, our environment, our mentality that were passed on to us. Some of us do not have a healthy relationship with a lot of things, including money, because of how we saw the relationship our parents had with money. So things like this need to be touched on. So before we finally end it, let's talk about the workplace. In terms of hiring and retention, what is the future for employers? What are the things that they probably should know now, since employees too are probably going to change, their mentality is going to change when they see what's coming in the future. So how can employers retain their talent and what should they be putting in place from now?
I won't be thinking about talent retention. I'll be thinking about productivity of the people who work with and for you, because the workplace is going to change. So what's going to be happening is many more people would not want to work for you, but they want to work with you. So we're going to be having an increasing case of independent consultants or independent service providers working for the various organizations. I mean, we have independent producers, broadcasters who buy time slots on radio, and then they do their presentation, companies sponsor them, they make their money off that, they just buy their time slot. Many more of such arrangements would also come into the place of work, where people will tell you, I don't want this. I mean, one of our clients within diversity does not have an HR department. In fact, not one. It's a service we render. And there are so many SMEs who are within that space. They do not have an HR department. But when you go there, you see some guys in HR. And who are these guys? They are employees who work on site, because some of these clients work on site, to attend to all of their HR issues, but they dovetail back to the home office to be able to glean the wealth of experience at the back end to be able to help revolutionize that organization. And you will see many of such happening within the place of work. So what everybody should be bracing up for is, whoever is working with me, how do I make the most of them? Another quick thing is, in the IT world, most of these guys don't want to work for you full time because they are working for multiple companies at the same time. And let me also shock you, when I worked in the investment bank, we had a policy that it must be second class upper and above. Otherwise, you will not be eligible to work with us. And they have kept some people as independent consultants all through their stay. Now, all these guys are leaving. Why? Because some of them now that you find in the market space only have their SSC. From secondary school, they got into the IT space and they are trailblazing. So are you going to still keep on with that criteria of minimum of a 2-1? It's not going to work. It's no longer going to work. And I'll borrow employers. My email signature, it says live with an open mind. Every employer has to be very open. It's not what you should be doing. It is paying more attention to what is going on. I wrote some things down which I would like to quickly share. It's a VUCA world in the future of world. And VUCA has been VUCArized because there's an R. What does VUCA stand for? Volatile, uncertain, highly complex, ambiguous, and the R there is risk prone.
The network is raining on our parade.
Familiar with.
We didn't get your audio.
But the only way you can deal with VUCA is also to apply VUCA. And what does that other VUCA mean? Vision, which is V. Complete attention. Instead of worshiping the complexity of the workplace, so instead of understanding and paying attention. Yeah. Hello?
Okay, you're back now. The audio is back now. As for a while, we couldn't hear you when you started explaining VUCA with the R. Can you hear me? Ouch. Oh no, the network threw him out. I really hope he comes back real soon, because that was good just for us to wrap this up. And if you're joining us for the first time, I hope that you have gotten a little bit of things that will help you. And okay, I think, are you back now?
Yes, I'm back. I was almost thinking of dialing you on the mobile number so that I could finish it up there in case the network.
This is perfect now. This is perfect.
Okay. So permit me. I was talking about VUCA, volatile world, uncertain, complex world, ambiguous, and then risk prone. And I said to address that, you have a vision of what is possible, of what the future holds, and start preparing yourself. You seek understanding instead of focusing on the uncertainty. There will be trends that we will see that will be common even as the future evolves. So have understanding, and then that helps you to know how to approach it. Instead of worshiping the complexity, seek clarity and be consistent. Then instead of, complaining about the ambiguity of the future of work, be adaptable and agile. And then instead of you saying it's highly risky, be resilient. Be resilient in what you are pushing. And that way, we can approach the future of work with a full chest, let me borrow that word, that no matter what it brings, we will be relevant. And that's what I tell people. As the organization is evolving, deploying technology, deploying tools, people can work remotely, automation is coming in. You as the employee, do you have those skills to be able to work remotely? Do you have the discipline to work remotely? Do you have the technology know-how to be able to work on all of the support tools that your organization will be setting up? Are you thinking of making your business global, your idea global? Are you getting digital skills? You can't learn everything. I'm not advocating that you go and learn everything. Be a master in your own area, but seek partnership with others who can help your business grow and who can help your career grow. And that's the way we can approach the future of work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I feel like this is a mic drop moment and everybody's just supposed to stand up and give a round of applause because it is absolutely, in fact, I'm going to give the round of applause here. It is so good. Thank you so much for this. I really do appreciate it. It is good. In fact, Cruz says that is what he said. He said, this sounds like remote working 4.0. It means small companies need to start upgrading their IT setup and infrastructure. And it brings my mind to what you were talking about telemedicine. I think doctors also, hospitals need to work on having e-files as opposed to carrying files of patients all around. Sometimes we already have that, but we need to make it go viral if possible. You don't need to be carrying files up and down. You will hear, and we have lost your file. We cannot see your file. I'm looking for your file. Make everything please. It makes everything easy. And if there is any way I'm going to summarize this, it's to tell you that the future of work is evolve or die. As brutal as that might be, but you just need to evolve. You need to evolve, else you're going to be phased out. That's the truth.
Learn from the dinosaurs.
Exactly.
Evolve or go extinct. That's it.
That's it. Thank you so much. I have had a blast this morning and I just cannot wait for more people to see this on YouTube. So please share this with your friends and family on YouTube. It is youtube.com/smooth92 FM Lagos. And thank you, Mr. Victor. I think we need to have another conversation on any of those things you like to talk about so that more people can get educated. And I'll look forward to it.
Absolutely. And maybe it's going to be a physical session then, so we don't have these
That would be lovely.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your holidays and everything that comes with it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Lagos, and everyone listening. You know, we are done for now, but again, you can catch it on YouTube. So thank you so much for being there. I will save the video for you, put it up on our WhatsApp status, and you can go click on the link and just take it away. All right, we'll take a break. You listen to the news, and I'll play you more of the soul songs.
98.1. Love music, love life.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Nice watching you. You too. Enjoy. Take care. Yeah, cheers. Bye.